His worn-out leather shoes touch the ground.
Bro, he better hope there's another way out, because he's gonna have to do this again if he wants to leave.
That's a long way out, bro.
That's crazy.
That's not happening.
Dun, 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 dun.
Welcome back.
Dun,
Why are you doing
dun,
what's that? That's not our beat.
I don't know. I feel like we just needed an epic entrance.
No.
Because you know what we're watching today?
What are we watching?
We're watching Internet Historian, Man in Cave.
What does that mean?
I feel like when you mention Man in Cave,
yeah,
you think of like an epic entrance where you just enter a cave with like an epic music playing in the background.
You see, like my boys in the back behind me.
Oh,
I think of caveman.
I don't think of that. I think of an epic entrance.
Is the one on the left a woman or a man on my background?
Well, I guess that's for you to find out, ain't it?
How am I gonna? Why are you smiling like that? Like,
I don't even know what that means.
you're like, that's what you need to find out, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. God, bro, what's that? What's that nonsense, bro? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any more of your time, as this is a very long episode.
Anyways, unorthodox reactions, unorthodox intro.
That was our intro. No, I thought no.
Yeah, but we always gotta say that before we get started, though.
God, man, you're so annoying.
We need to be consistent at some point.
Go on then, tell them what are we here for.
We already said all that. I just wanted to do the unorthodox part because you never said that.
Okay, how exciting!
You're welcome. At least someone's been professional.
Says you. Show them your blanket.
What blanket?
Go on then. Let's get into the.
Let's get right into it.
I feel like my light is too.
Not complaining.
In the state of Kentucky, there is a cave that every now and then demands a sacrifice.
I'm trying to get comfortable. I have a blanket.
January 30th, 1925. A man walks towards the cave with a kerosene lamp in his hand. He hangs up his jacket and ducks into a 5-foot opening. The inside of the cave is narrow. He has to drop down on his hands and knees, crawling through a passageway filled with jagged rocks and choking dust. Then down a chute he had cleared out.
I'm not doing that.
Shawshank Redemption.
All of the daylight is gone from here, and this lantern is his only source of light. Ignoring the loose limestone rocks perched directly above him, he is now 100 feet in, and here he reaches the turnaround room. Now, they call this the turnaround room because this is the juncture where even experienced cavers say,
turn around,
and turn around. Because to continue
is this his main channel?
Means going through this, the squeeze. A gap in the stone of only 9 inches.
So I think it's fair to assume...
That's what she said. Sorry.
None of that family-friendly content.
Right. Yeah, but she could have said anything. They don't know exactly what she said.
But I think it's fair to assume that this is probably like a true story since this is his main channel, because I think he normally tells like true stories and like one of those weird internet stories that you would never hear otherwise.
Yeah, I like the way he's going about it as well.
Yeah, he makes it very cinematic.
Yeah, he's like...
For reference, here's a Subway sub.
I say here's a Subway sub.
Going through, he would look exactly like this.
Oh, no.
Need to be completely at
absolutely not.
Exhale.
Why would he do it?
Yeah, because if you think about it, it's 9 inch.
Wait, go back.
Not that much room.
Bit by juice the completely. He would look exactly.
Why would you do it though?
The Caver creepypasta. Okay. But
why would
I'm not doing that.
That's ridiculous.
That's what cave explorers do. They like explore caves.
Yeah, because they're idiots. That's what they do.
And that's why like sometimes some of them get trapped, and it's like I mean, I don't know how it feels for them, but it sounds mad scary because it's like
100%.
Imagine if he goes trapped like that, and it's just him exploring.
He's dead. You can't crawl backwards. You're not getting out.
I don't know how he's going to be able to get help either because he can't move his arms to call anyone.
Why did he?
I don't even think he's going to get service in here.
Why did he think about going in there?
As a bad.
How do they get him out? They can't even get him out.
No, if they
'Cause you
would,
can't
if the
crush-
if the rescuers came, I think if they're gonna get him out, it's gonna have to be like gradual. Maybe they have to like chip away at the sides or something, trying to like expand the hole.
Yeah,
But that's
I know,
gonna
that's
take
what I
a
mean.
while. It's gonna be like it's not gonna be like a quick rescue. It's gonna be
He's
a
dead.
long time.
He's dead.
Bro, I would. That's never. You can never. That can never be me, bro.
Dead if he gets stuck in.
Absolutely not.
His arms will need to be completely at their side, and he will need to exhale so that he can reduce the size of his torso. Gradually, bit by bit, he disappears into the hole.
What's an idiot?
His clothes are caught on sharp gypsum crystals, hooking into him and threatening to hold him in place. But using his feet like paddles, he pushes through. He reaches a wider opening at the other side,
The real guy.
then crawls forward towards a ledge. Illuminated here is a 10-foot drop. A rope is already secured around a boulder, which allows him to rappel down. His worn-out leather shoes touch the ground.
Bro, he better hope there's another way out, because he's gonna have to do this again if he wants to leave.
That's a long way out, bro.
That's crazy.
That's not happening.
This is as far as he can go.
It's like we're like
And
what
it is
2
time
minutes in,
for
and I'm
work
already
to
getting
begin.
anxiety.
What he is working on is another opening. At the
Some
moment,
people are too
it's
brave.
small for anyone to fit through.
Facts.
But he will chip away at it until he can shove himself right through the other side. Because on the other side is this. A magnificent and otherworldly cave structure that will be irresistible to tourists. Every day for months, he has been removing rocks from this crevice.
Oh my god.
To him, this is all just routine.
Well, he's trying
So
to
he
make money
eases
from
further
this as
into
a
the gap.
tourist distraction.
Carefully, he contorts his body through. Rocks compress the sides of his torso so close that his arms are pinned to the side of his body. He once again paddles his feet to inch down. Then, about halfway, he stops.
Why?
The lantern. It's starting to dim. He will need to go all the way back to the surface.
Oh,
to fuel
no.
the thing. He sighs. He slowly comes back out, pushing the lantern with his shoulder.
Switches and goes
Then-
back
Oh
again.
no. Dim, crack, darkness.
Oh.
He has knocked over the lamp, and
What
it
an
is
idiot.
broken. Now, the man didn't
An
panic.
absolute idiot.
He had been caught in the dark
He's a
before,
professional.
and he could make his
Calm
way
down,
back
let's see
by
what he does.
feel alone. So he
I'm panicking and
continues
quitting.
working out, leveraging his foot against what he thinks is the cave wall. But that is not the cave wall.
Is that a
That is,
creature?
in fact, a rock protruding from the ceiling.
Oh no.
As soon as he puts
no.
his weight
It's gonna
against
collapse.
the rock, it breaks loose. A solid piece weighing 15 kilograms lands
Pins his leg.
directly on his ankle. It aches. But he's okay. It doesn't feel as though his ankle is broken, just
Okay.
badly bruised
Okay.
and caught underneath the rock.
But now he can't
shuffles to
shimmy
move
no
the
more.
rock away.
I said he can't shimmy.
A lot of gravel. It falls onto his feet,
It's
his legs,
unstable.
his torso, and the weight of it all forces the wedged rock deeper into the gap underneath his foot.
Oh, he's trapped.
Pinned. He tries to push forward. He cannot. He tries to inch backwards. He cannot. He is stuck.
In darkness.
This is Sand Cave. This man
Amazing
is
intro.
Honestly.
He is trapped in absolute darkness. 60 feet deep below the earth.
I think this was actually a
All of his
movie.
limbs held in place.
Is it a movie? I feel like
I think
the
this was a
very
it's a
movie.
real guy.
of
Yeah.
this.
That's how long the turnaround is.
Yeah, bro. It's like I don't know why. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why he would do this to himself. It's ridiculous.
But before I tell you what happens next, ad time. Speaking of people trapped in a cave,
How long is it?
World of
And he's doing the
Tanks.
ad already.
World of Tanks is not only the best game I have ever played, it is
Like,
the
it's
only
almost 6
game
minutes
I
in.
have ever played. It's like cars, but tanks. Picture this. You're a hot new T-3485M, and you've just joined the battle because some Cromwell B tank bagged your entire family. It's time for revenge. You must
we
use
can't skip
strategy.
this one,
You
yeah?
must use stealth. You must use your wits to defeat your enemies. Use long range or short range. It's available on console, but I want you to get it on PC. Imagine a world war, but there are tanks involved this time. Yeah, now you get it. When you've seen as many messed up tanks as I have, you get a little cynical about the world. My God, I'm gonna be sick. Look at all the different tanks. You can collectivize and customize them all. Massive battles where you
you
can
trying to skip
constantly
it?
team kill and ruin other people's good
I was
time.
looking for his name.
I'm on your
Because I know there's a
It's
point where he said
historically
it.
accurate, especially
Floyd
the
something.
Japanese robot tanks. Ooh, look, the tanks are kissing. Progressive. Use the invite code TankMania and get the Excelsior. 250k credits. Other stuff. Go to the link in the description and use the invite code TankMania. Here's what you do. Get World of Tanks. Put that on one screen. Then, on a second monitor, you watch the next hour of this video while you play the game. Perfection. I'm contractually obliged to say thank you for being a friend. So, tank's empty, kid. Go on without me. No, use your repair consumable. It's too late, kid. Take care of my family for me. No. Get it. Add
Nah, didn't get to see Node Man
still in the dark, unable
Yeah,
to move.
I'm pretty sure it was
His
not
left
a
arm
node
was
ad.
pinned underneath.
or Shadow Sun.
His right wedged by the rock ceiling above. Beneath him, sharp crystal shards dug into his skin. Ice thawed, traced across the ceiling, and dripped down directly.
On a Friday morning,
The water was a
it was
consistent
terrible
54
time
degrees.
to be stuck.
Floyd tried to breathe calmly.
You're gonna miss all the happy
Concentrate in the
hour.
dark. When he did attempt to shuffle,
10 a.m. as
more
well. That's
gravel and
crazy.
rocks would
Right?
come from above and pile onto his feet, so nothing would work. He clawed at the cave walls till his fingertips were bloody, and he realized that there was only one option left.
Is that the
Call
weekend?
out for help.
No,
Wait,
it's-
wait.
it looks like
Who
Samito
is
or whatever his
Floyd?
name is.
And why do
Yeah.
you go into a dangerous cave? Floyd has been exploring the caves of Kentucky since he was merely 6 years old. And as he grew up, he gained a reputation for being a very daring
No, that's not
caver.
Samito.
He would dive
that
into
doesn't
some
look
hole on
Samito.
one side of town and emerge
Before it did,
away on someone else's property.
Sup?
He
No, that's
grew
not
up and he
Samito.
became embroiled
Yeah, I know. I'm saying before it looked like him,
cave
but it's not
walls.
him.
Now, there's way too much to go into here, but the summary version is there's this huge network of interconnected caves called Mammoth Caves. It's actually the largest cave system in the world. And there's a city right in the middle of it, Cave City, real name. So, of course, there are dozens of cave entrances,
Funny name
private
for a
property
cave.
all over the place.
What, Cave
Now,
City?
farmland in this region has very poor soil,
Mammoth Cave.
and things do not grow well here. So, cave tourism as a
Wait, can
source
you
of
hear me?
income quickly
Yeah, yeah.
became the
Oh,
prominent
okay.
thing. However,
just
a
ignore you.
problem. There are a very large number of
Rude.
caves, but there are only a limited number of tourists. So competition rapidly escalated. Visit my cave. No. Visit my cave. Big signs were erected saying, tourists, come to me. Mine is
So
definitely
wait, each
open.
person
Mine's
had a
best."
cave.
But then competitors would
like,
respond
and
by
they
saying,
would-
hey, by the way, we're
like a
open,
tourist
but
attraction.
don't go to that one over there.
Oh.
It's really shitty. In fact, it's dangerous. This kept going further. By the end, they were blocking off the trail to each other's property, beating each other in the
This is
street,
petty.
and hiring people called cappers who would dress up as policemen and tell tourists, no, you can't go in there. Oh, what? No, it's illegal. Despite the
Do you
fierce
think that's the
competition,
origin of his
Floyd found a
capping?
cave on his property, and he started advertising it to tourists. Of course, very few came. All right, he thought, what if I found something really special and unique? Then surely people would have to come to my cave to see it. So he kept exploring and exploring.
Okay, that
until
makes a
he
bit more
found
sense now.
This hollow. It was
Ambition.
filled with big gypsum
Oh.
crystals, and when you were in there, it felt like a completely alien world. But it was barely accessible. This small tunnel is the only
How
way.
did he even find it the
He
first
would need to
time?
dig for months
You just
to open
explored.
it up to tourists.
Yeah,
he
but
knew
what
he could
would
do it.
compel you
Back
to
to the
even?
competition. They knew the value of this cave.
What would compel you to even look at the old small opening in the cave and be like, I want to go through there and see what's on the other side.
Yeah, but he said it's because
He doesn't
needed
know
to find
the
a
other
reason.
side is gonna look good.
Yeah, but
Like,
he
he's
needed to
like,
find a
I'm just
reason
gonna-
for people to come there. So obviously he's motivated to be like, oh, let's see what's on the other side.
Still though, like enough to put his life on the line. That's a bit
Yeah,
excessive.
100%.
Would you do it?
Bro, I'm not even going in a cave. Come on, mate.
Smart.
Cave.
Yeah, come
They
on,
knew
mate.
the
Respect
potential,
me.
they wanted it for themselves, and they wanted Collins gone. One time, 5 of them just wandered onto Floyd's property and demanded he hand over the lease.
Did he beat him up?
When he refused, they just started beating the shit out of him. This only stopped when Floyd's brother, Homer,
I
marched
thought
out
it
with
was
a
gonna,
shotgun
this is
and
gonna
chased
be a
them all
hero's
out.
tale.
But Floyd was
Dude, they
not
beat him up. He's moist.
spent 12 hours
Floyd
a
took
day,
them
every
1v5
day for
and
months,
then beat up all 5
clearing
of them.
gravel and stone, chipping away at that passage.
He got
would
beaten
open
up.
it up
That's
to
the story.
tourists, make his cave an incredible attraction, and make his dreams come true.
Hey! Is anyone there?
So there's
No.
Floyd in the dark, yelling out for help. He's at the start of a very tiring loop. Sleep, wake, yell. Sleep, wake, yell.
Honestly,
Hours
it kind of sounds like it's
His
become
voice
true for a
gave
while.
Arms tingled numb, pain
Sounds like what?
radiating up his ankle. Here he remained in the dark for the next 20
Can you hear me?
hours.
Yeah.
I said, sounds like what? What does it sound like? He's been.
Well, no, I was saying it kind of sounds like a dream come true for a while.
Oh,
Like, all you
no.
literally, you're not even eating. All you get to do is just sleep, and then
Yeah, but
occasionally
he's
shout
gonna
for help.
die. He's gonna die.
Yeah, but still, though, a couple peaceful rests never hurt anyone,
Nah,
except
mate,
when they die.
That's not how I want to go.
23
you might wonder,
hours.
How come no
23.
one's come for him after 23 hours?
No one cares except his
Well,
brother.
Sand Cave resides on a 200-acre farm.
Oh,
There are several homes on this property with other families. One of them, of course, is Colin's house, where Floyd's father, Lee, resides. Now, Lee and Floyd constantly get into fights about how to run things. Lee wants his son to concentrate on farming, and Floyd wants to concentrate on cave
caves.
tourism. Arguments would often get heated. And Lee was also a bit of a drunk. It was doubtful that he would even notice if his son Floyd was missing. Also not helping things, Floyd regularly lodged at 2 other homes on the farm. So when he didn't return to one host, they would presume that he was staying with the
okay,
other.
well, that's just poor communication, isn't
Even
it? He
worse
kind of
than
brought
that,
this on
He
himself.
had recently spent 30 hours in a cave.
He's not serious.
Disappearing
There's
for
no
this
way he's
length of
serious.
time.
Yeah, he basically
wasn't
just
seen
set all
as
this up.
30 hours in the cave, and they're just like, yeah,
Around
no,
the
that's him again.
23-hour mark, a few locals started to suspect that, hey, something might be wrong, and they went to check up on him. And here, they spotted his jacket still hung up. Unusual. They went deeper. However, there was only one person small enough to make it as far as
Oh,
the
so he's
turnaround.
not even at the
This was
entrance.
a
He's like on the other
17-year-old
end.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Estes. He refused to go into the squeeze, but it was close enough to call Colin's name. Lloyd!
Imagine he was sleeping at this time, so he didn't hear them.
Collins yelled back.
Oh, okay.
What? Imagine if it was while he was sleeping.
Yeah, like they came while he was sleeping. And, like, they yelled for him, but he just didn't wake up because he was
For
tired.
2 hours, he just didn't wake up.
And they're like, oh, well, I guess he's not here then.
Estes emerges from the cave.
Okay, we know he's trapped, and we know where he is.
So,
Let's
locals
take his
started
cave.
to gather outside. Out of my way. Say a bunch of men who would each show up and take turns heading into the cave in an attempt to reach Collins. But once they reached the turnaround room,
They turned around.
Nope.
they would fail to reach him, emerging from the cave, soaked in mud and cursing. Out of my way, they would say as they were heading in the reverse direction. So a few more hours passed. Word would spread around town. Dozens of locals from Cave City started to gather outside.
I mean, I was about to say it's nice that they're trying to help him, but they kind of turned it into a tourist attraction.
Over in Louisville, Floyd's 22-year-old brother, Homer, he gets a
Like,
phone
I feel like he should charge people, or just tell someone to charge people.
Ah, my brother. He's trapped in a cave? I'm on my way.
Homer jumps on a coach and makes his way to Floyd's cave.
How long did that take?
And I was,
Dozens of men are standing around outside. He ignores
How
them
long can you
and
survive
marches
without
right into the
water?
cavern, still wearing his city
you can
clothes.
survive a couple days.
He makes his way in,
Without food and
down the
water.
chute, through the narrow passage, down on his
Would
hands.
there not be a point where he's malnourished enough to like shimmy out?
Nah,
I feel like it has to come because when you don't eat, like you thin out in it.
Yeah. I'm
But
sure.
I guess you probably have to
you have no energy.
You have to be drinking, yeah, because you can stay alive longer if you drink with no food. But if you don't have water either, then you probably just die. But I feel like I was just thinking there probably is like a point where he'll be like thin enough where he can just squeeze out. And
Once he's at that point, he has no energy.
Yeah.
He's just gonna be there like, oh, I'm just gonna die.
And his bones are probably like
towards the turnaround
weak as well by that point.
And when he arrives, he does not hesitate. He squeezes into the hole
and he gets stuck
scrambles
too.
his way through to the ledge on the other side. He sees Floyd below and slides down to meet him.
Floyd!
Yeah, but how does he get him out?
It probably wasn't that casual.
Oh, thank God you're here.
Homer took a moment to shine his light around the area and assess the situation. It was not good. This rock formation is going to prove almost impossible to work around. All right, so let's have a look. Floyd is here.
Why would you do this?
His ankle. He's surrounded by rubble, and there's a pocket of gravel above him ready to fall. However, because this opening is so small, there are only two viable ways of reaching Floyd and that gravel. Option one, the most obvious, feet first. But if you do this,
he's not going to have
you
space to pull him out.
Squat, and your own torso obstructs access to the rubble. Otherwise, option
you need 2
two,
people.
come down head first. That will give you better access, but you're trying to move hundreds of pounds of gravel upside down. Worse yet, there's barely an inch around Collins on either side. So good luck getting your arm down near Floyd's ankle to actually free him from the wedged rock. Homer calls back to the less daring rescuers standing behind him.
Quickly, some food and drink.
They send it through. He hand feeds his brother a pint of coffee and a total of 9 sausage sandwiches.
Feeling better?
Much better.
Then Homer went to task. He began removing rocks and
Is
gravel
that Samir that's dubbing his brother's
with the help of an old
voice?
syrup can.
Oh, there's the actual can. That's
For the
a
next
lot of
8 hours, he
time.
toiled. First with hands, then, once enough was cleared, using a crowbar to scoop behind his brother.
Dude,
Squirting
30
away
hours.
sharp protrusions as he went. It was slow progress.
It's a Sunday now.
Virtually futile. As soon as he would move
Pretty
one rock
much.
or scoop
They
of
missed
gravel,
happy hour.
another would tumble
Yeah,
from above.
facts, bro.
and
They missed
land in the
everything.
new
Saturday
absence.
night club.
And
Nah,
it
bro,
was
it's almost time
exhausting
for
work.
Floyd's
By
brother to get back
sunrise,
to
Homer's
work.
arms and back.
Bro, what? 5 a.m.
Monday's
Sunday
almost
morning.
here.
He was losing hope.
Facts.
Homer emerged hours later, shivering violently, skin bruised from his fingertips, but the cave barely yielded at all. However, something new. By the time Homer reached outside, he was greeted by a sea of approximately 100 men and women standing
Why?
around, drinking, squabbling,
telling you,
and talking
tourist
big
attraction,
game
said it.
about how they too
Yeah, but they can't even see him. They're just standing outside the cave at this point. They don't even know what's happening.
They also they want to know why he went there.
But they can't know why because think about it. He's like, since the point where they found out, it's probably been like a good 12, 13 hours. So people have probably been coming and going for 12, 13 hours for no reason. Like, he's still stuck down there. You can't talk to him. So you just standing there speculating for no reason.
They're waiting
Go
to
home.
get him out.
Let's say maybe when he gets out, then everyone starts coming to want to talk to him. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
But he's not there. It's just an entrance to the cave. They're just standing outside the entrance
You're
to the
missing
cave.
the whole point. The whole point is when he possibly comes out, they want to see the cave themselves as well.
But then they can
That's
just
the
go
whole
in
point.
and see it, can't they?
Yeah, but
But what
it's
they're
not the
doing is
same.
standing outside.
It's not the same, is it?
I don't know. I probably just don't get it.
You sound exactly. You
We're
sound like
going
you've never
to
been in a
save
cave. That's the
Floyd.
problem.
Yeah, because I've never been in a cave.
Exactly.
help
That's my
people
point.
walk
If you've
from
never been
afar.
in it, how are you
Now,
going to know
Homer
what they're doing?
recuperated at a small tent near the cave's mouth. Strangers immediately crowded around him to ask innocent but, frankly, frustrating questions and offer unsolicited, obvious advice as well as wildly impractical solutions. He should try untying his shoes, said one. No, we should send him down with a contortionist who's got a mallet and a chisel. We should jerk him off, right, guys? But you get the idea. And they started to argue with each
I
other
see why
about
they're there
plans.
now. They're trying to
Hey,
see if they
how
can be
about
the ones to
using
come up with a
dynamite?
solution.
One-click form.
Exactly,
Thinking
that's what I
this is a
mean.
great
Stupid.
idea. And another saying,
They're looking for glory,
the
bro.
explosion will kill him,
Yeah.
and the weight of the new rocks will surely crush him. They fought for a while until they started arguing about gas torches.
I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking it would just
or
explode the thing.
asphyxiate him, or the gas will poison him. But by far the most common suggestion, of course, was amputation. Never mind that the foot itself was unreachable, and never mind what the blood loss and shock
Amputation
would do
at
to
the
Floyd's
neck.
weakened body, and never minding even more that Floyd was strongly reluctant to the idea.
Whatever you do, don't cut my foot off.
All of the squabble would not have gotten on Homer's nerves, except that not one of them would just brave the damn
Thank
cave
you.
and continue
They're not
shoveling
going to
away
do it.
crap.
They're not
The
going to do it.
formula
bro.
was
It's too
always the
much.
same.
I'm saying all they're doing is
Brave
standing
heroes
outside.
journey with food and supplies, then reach the turnaround room
And then comes right
immediately
back.
lose their nerve, then dump the food just outside the hole, and then return back outside and go, oh, absolutely. No, he says, thanks for the food. Thank you so much. Yum, yum. No one would go through that squeeze. Dozens more men would try.
Wait, go back. What does it look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even make it out.
Hole?
Where?
Can't you see
Between the
top, the
this
black
is
part?
and the whole thing.
Huh?
Where? Which one?
The black thing. This is and the
That-
hole. That's the black.
just
yeah,
that black
that's the hole.
part.
Yeah, that's the hole.
Yeah, I would have
what
turned
you
around as well. Absolutely not. Are
You're
you
not a real
kidding
one.
me?
You're not a real one.
I don't even know him like that. I'm not going.
All of them would fail.
So
February 2nd, 9 a.m.
71 hours.
Homer has been the only person to have reached Floyd. And that would continue to be true until here we are at the Louisville Courier. There's a spirited young newshawk named William Miller. He's talking to his boss, and he's trying to convince him that it's a great idea for him to cover the story of the man trapped in the cave.
Listen up,
Monday
boss. I'm
morning,
hearing
uh,
talk of a man in a cave. He's stuck down there, and I want to get down there too. Get to the nitty-gritty, you hear?
This is an opportunity for some good PR, Miller. I'm in. But I want us to sponsor that rescue. Picture this. Man saved from cave by Louisville Courier, the finest newspaper in the state. That'll drum up plenty of business.
24-carat idea, boss. I'll make it happen. I'll get down there toot sweet.
So off Miller goes to Floyd's cave. Back over at the cave, Homer is sitting outside trying to recuperate as Miller wanders up. He glares at the man in his city clothes and answers every question with either a grunt or a one-word answer.
Yeah. Sure.
Finally, he gestures.
I think that is to me.
Listen, you want more information? The hole's right behind me. Why don't you go take a look yourself?
Now, Miller is only 21, but he is a slender and determined man. He takes on the challenge. So he removes his suit, drapes himself in coveralls, and grabs a lamp. Miller slowly enters the cave. He finds himself stepping in puddles and having to correct his balance against the ever-softening
Why does the
walls.
image that he
These were
uses of someone
accumulating
entering the cave
problems thanks to the
look like someone sitting down and squatting and taking a dump?
What? What?
Why does the image he uses of someone entering the cave look like someone squatting down and taking a dump?
Does it?
goes out softening
Yeah, go back
walls,
to it,
self-stepping
yeah.
in puddles. And Miller
Yeah.
slowly enters.
Oh.
He finds
Yeah.
himself stepping in puddles,
You
and
see
having
it?
to correct his balance
Yeah.
against the ever-softening walls. These were accumulating problems thanks to the gawkers outside who had lit campfires all around the entrance.
See what I'm saying?
That
They're
caused
useless.
And the stable environment of the cave
Bunch of idiots,
started
honestly.
to shift. But Miller makes it further than most. And all that's left is that final
Does he
squeeze,
get stuck too?
and he's there. He stops.
Turn around.
He takes a moment and decides to call out to Floyd.
Floyd!
Hearing there's
Yeah.
someone on the other side, he feels ashamed not to try. So he closes his eyes and moves forward. His slender figure begins inching through. The crystal gypsum cuts into his elbows and tugs at his clothes. He gets snagged.
Oh,
He's
no.
fluttering through the pools of muddy water. He stops, collects himself, and pushes on. He can barely inhale. If he gets stuck in here, he can only hope that someone else can come in from behind and pull him out by the legs. But eventually, he makes it through. Fantastic. He's now standing on the edge of a 10-foot pit, and he clumsily bumbles his way down. He sat
That
right
is
next to
crazy.
Floyd, ready to interview him. But Floyd
Is he interviewing Floyd, not even getting him
Yeah,
out?
bro.
In fact,
no, you're not trying to.
was
He coming in.
incoherent.
He came in for an interview, bro. He didn't come in to rescue him. He's a newspaper.
That's
He's the news
crazy.
reporter.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Bro, that's what I was about to say. News reporter be doing the most. Like that's crazy. Yeah, and
Dude's about to be. Dude's gonna be in there for a week.
It's crazy.
At the moment, he is sitting in a pool of water that is 12 degrees, slowly sapping his body temperature. He is dying from exposure. The cold is diminishing Floyd's mental faculties, and he can barely make sentences. So Miller took a few mental notes, and he left. He worked his way back through the squeeze, past the turnaround
That's when
room,
Miller left.
and out into the daylight. He is covered in mud and scratches and numb head to toe. And when Homer saw, his hope reignited. Someone else had made it to Floyd.
You and me. Together, we can get Floyd out of there.
Friend, news
Miller hadn't
report.
gone
They
to
took
that
a news report.
There's a
to
good
prove
chance
it.
that Floyd's story would have remained an obscure footnote in the back pages. But the interviews and first-person accounts gave the audience a glimpse of something real. Fear,
Okay.
desperation, the full range. And so from Los Angeles to New York, Floyd's story was picked up everywhere and
Don't tell
described
me
the
more
Kentucky
people
man's
keeps coming
life
before
in
he gets out.
sensational detail.
100%.
It was also the era when radio became a regular
Oh,
feature for
no.
regular Americans. Radio allowed something new, hourly updates, letting people get engrossed into the story. So, mostly thanks to Miller, the story of Floyd over the next week would grow
This is
and grow,
basically a news report at
seemingly
this
frothing
point,
over
like a
into
sports
every
announcer.
aspect of American life. The press at large would be clamoring over each other for every little extra scrap of detail they could get about Floyd. And everybody wanted to know, will this man make it?
Bro, you can tell people had nothing
outside
better
the
to do
cave,
those
someone
days.
Yeah, but that is a massive thing to be fair as well.
Lieutenant,
Like if
Yeah,
someone
but
got
like-
stuck now,
That's what I mean.
remember
If
the
someone got stuck
mimers,
now.
the miners. Is it the mimers?
Who?
The like the 12 miners that got stuck in
As
the
in
cave.
people who dig or like young
Yeah,
children.
yeah. The diggers. They got stuck.
When and where? Because I
I
don't
remember this was
this.
like a couple years ago. They got stuck.
That's what I'm
underneath.
saying. No one cares, bro. Like they
No,
can
they
just
do because there was like a whole
move on with their
report for, like,
life.
days.
Friggin'
days.
Murder She Wrote is on at 10, bro. I ain't got time for this.
No joke, man.
That's a joke. Relax. But honestly, I feel like back in those days, people were a bit more invested because there was less stuff for them to do. Because it's like what? Because after like even like during or
No, I
after,
just think it made the news, so it was something they had to cover.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It was something that's like doesn't happen every day, so people were a bit
Yeah,
more willing
yeah.
to be invested in it.
Yeah.
Robert Byrd, a thin but strong 33-year-old Louisville firefighter. Like Miller, he was able to navigate the passages of the cave
Wait.
and brave the squeeze.
We didn't.
Outside the cave,
I didn't get
someone
here.
new enters the scene. Lieutenant Robert Byrd, a thin but strong 33-year-old Louisville firefighter. Like Miller, he was able to navigate the passages of the cave and brave the squeeze. Scratched
went
up
through
pretty
the
good,
squeeze.
drenched in cold, muddy water, he managed to get through. He grabbed the rope and confidently lowered himself to Floyd's position. It was not an optimistic sight. Floyd's condition was deteriorating.
Well, we've got a heck of a problem here, but I think I can get you out with a rope.
Floyd nods in approval.
Go on. We might just pull your bloody leg off.
Just pull my leg off then. Get me out of here.
We can return to the
Honestly, it's
surface
probably
and face
getting to that point.
he announced.
Right.
We will attempt a rope pull.
The crowd murmured. It was dangerous. It would certainly break his foot and could altogether pull it off. If there are jagged rocks, you'll fillet the poor man. Amongst the crowd, a doctor stepped forward. A rope pull could stretch his internal organs and cause them to rupture. You'll kill him. But Floyd is dying of exposure down there. The situation is becoming desperate. Burden put caution to the side.
The time for strategy is over. Now we try brute force.
It's normally the first thing people try. 76. Oh, he's gonna die of hypothermia. That's creepy as hell. Is he hallucinating? I think his body temperature is starting to drop too low.
Yeah, probably. That looks peak. It's best if you just pass out at that point.
Now, what is this?
A glass eye.
Floyd! Floyd! We're here. We're gonna get you out of here.
After 79 hours in the cold water, he is delirious,
Yeah.
fading in and out of consciousness. Homer gave his brother some coffee and fed him a couple of ham sandwiches. That warms him up and gives him a bit more energy, and he comes back to lucidity.
Oh, much better.
I'm gonna put the special harness around you. Burden and Miller, they're here too. We got 3 more boys right up the cave, and they're all ready to pull as hard as they can to get you out of here.
Floyd was frightened.
I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna hurt.
He gave his brother some whiskey and a strong sedative to calm his nerves, and also
Morphine.
to help him withstand the shock in case his foot is destroyed. Floyd took the opportunity to appreciate being surrounded by friends and family.
You should take the opportunity
All
to
right,
appreciate your
strap 'em
foot.
up.
Homer tied the harness around Colin's chest
Nah, that foot's gone,
and
mate.
knotted the rope.
Ready?
Above, Miller is crouched at the top of the pit.
Pull.
Ready?
Burden
Put your
clenches
back
the cord
into
from
it.
further up the cave.
3,
The rope goes taut.
2,
Do it.
1.
Oh!
Instinctively,
Steady.
Floyd gasps. The force of 6 men pulled against the clutches of the cave. Floyd began to scream. His body was being pulled up from the rubble. The gravel was beginning to shift. Burden clenched his teeth.
Oh, harder!
Floyd screamed harder as well. Now, Floyd was trapped in a supine position, but the direction of the rope caused an upwards force that wrenched him vertically.
No.
His torso was being compressed and bent against the ceiling of the trap. It would kill him. Floyd's screaming intensified, and through gasps was begging them to stop. The screams filled the echoing cave, but it did not stop. The agony continued, on and on, with no progress.
Enough! Enough! You guys are killing him!
Homer pulled in the
said
opposite
stop.
direction to give his brother some reprieve. Somehow, Homer mustered the strength to altogether wrench the cord from the other men's hands.
Homer strong as hell.
Nice.
Homer, Floyd, and the rope lay limp on the cave floor, panting and exhausted. No progress.
Bro, what work does Homer do? He works on buildings, construction? What's that?
The
What's that
cave
do?
would not let this man go. The futility of the
The cave
situation
claims another
sank in,
victim
and all
today.
they could do was leave for now and reassess. Everybody was shaken by the
We
experience.
failed.
Burden fainted as he crawled towards the exit. Most of the other men had to be carried away. Outside, the crowd had grown
Why?
to 200. They buzzed
Yeah,
and
like
asked
they've been in
useless
there for
questions.
79.
Right?
Homer walked dejectedly past them. He sat by thinking what he could do. The cause seemed hopeless.
Homer?
Then, someone showed up who could turn things around. He looked up to see a childhood friend of both his and Floyd's, Johnny Gerald. Gerald knew more about cave rescues than most. In
Oh,
fact, just that summer
promising.
prior, he had helped untangle Floyd from a different snag. He was just the man.
Clearly didn't learn his lesson.
All right,
Exactly.
let me go see him. Well, look who it is.
Floyd perked up immediately,
Yay.
thrilled to see Gerald.
All right, let's see what we can.
Wait, why wasn't he the
jumped
first person they
For the next
called?
3 hours,
Literally.
Gerald went back to the original plan of prying away rocks. His stamina was good, and progress was surprisingly good as well. For several more hours, he continued, just moving stone after stone. New one would fall in his place, and he'd move that one too. By midnight, he had enough room to shift position and clear some of the gravel that was at each side of Floyd's body. Gerald would spend several more hours scooping. And it worked. For the first time, Floyd's torso was now available. Then his hips, his upper thigh. For the first time in over
Are you
90
kidding
hours,
me? So this
Floyd
is what
was
they had
able
to
to
do.
wiggle his arms, his
Wait,
hips,
Inwen,
and
hold on.
even 90 hours. Floyd was able
90.
to wiggle his arms, his hips, and even that trapped right leg, though it was very painful to do. In that
I
one
can
session,
imagine.
Gerald managed to move a half-ton of rock, but there was still a lot more to go. And that rock by his foot was still holding him in place. By 2 a.m., Gerald was spent. He needed rest, and he was ready to head back outside.
Floyd, tomorrow you're gonna be a free man.
He dies.
Then he dies.
Now, you might think things will become straightforward.
I don't like how we both just said that
Now
at the
that that
same
space had
time.
been cleared, Burden became convinced that if he could get down that passage again, he could free Floyd with another rope pull.
No,
deciding
please.
with both feet or just one.
Stop.
But when Burden tried to enter the cave again, he was sternly rebuffed by the locals.
Thank
They were
you.
playing gatekeeper. They had been
God.
specifically instructed to not let anyone in.
Because I think also, like, he wants to be, because obviously now this is like a national radio.
Yeah, he wants to
thing.
be the hero.
He wants to be the one to save him. He wants, because obviously they're going to say the name of the person who saves him.
Yeah,
And he
who
wants to
saves
be
him,
that
yeah.
guy.
Facts.
I'm like, bro, you're just killing him, man. Relax.
And they were especially opposed to Burden making another rope pull after word spread about the disaster of the first attempt. He tried to reason with them.
Let me try the rope pull again. It'll work this time.
They wouldn't let up. Instead, they shouted obscenities and shoved him in the other direction.
Dang.
Meanwhile, Gerald and
Great
Homer
job,
are
locals.
incapacitated with exhaustion, and
Thanks.
Miller was busy filing some paperwork for the Louisville Courier. Nobody else had the ability or the authority to take action, so Floyd spent all of that morning alone.
Hello? Is anyone there? Help?
Should we pause it there?
Hey,
Well done.
anyone out there?
I mean, this is a perfect time. 100,
Yeah.
our 100th. So,
Exactly. We'll make
video's
another
getting a bit
episode.
long. We don't want it to be too long. So, we'll see you guys tomorrow, I guess. Same
Why you saying
time.
so disappointedly?
It is disappointing. They can't finish the video today, so they're gonna have to come back tomorrow.
Unfortunately.
Anyway,
We'll
guys,
finish it today.
We'll finish it today, but you guys are gonna have to come back tomorrow.
Facts.
We'll see you guys in the next
In the
one.
next one. Peace.
In a bit.